John DeSando.
Classics, let's go to the movies and share some popcorn, soda pop with our friends. Turn off our cell phones and get away. Night or day, it's John DeSando on the radio. We'll watch the credits from up high and low. Cinema Classics on.
Cinema Classics is produced and hosted by John DeSando. Listen to shows Thursday at 8:01 p.m. on WCBE 90.5. And listen to the shows and read reviews online at WCBE.org.
I'm John DeSando,
I'm Audrey Harkonen.
and this is Cinema Classics. And Audrey, you and I discussed about having What's Up Doc as our subject. And I was explaining that I have really been intrigued by, first of all, The Materialists, which is out now.
Yes.
And which I think is a super kind of screwball comedy, maybe, but not. It has a different pace to it. But I think it talks about its subject with real class and real clarity. And the other one was Jane Austen Wrecked My Life.
Mm-hmm.
And both of those are romantic comedies. Anyway, they're not necessarily screwball, but they're romantic comedies.
Right.
And so looking at it, you and I thought maybe if this was about the 50th anniversary for What's Up Doc, it's actually maybe the 50th, whatever, third,
Yeah,
53rd. But anyway, it's 50 years old. You were, my God, you were almost just a toddler.
Oh, yeah.
and I was just a recent grad in my first teaching job, and I just thought this was really a pretty smart movie. So today we want to look at it. It stars Barbara Streisand and Ryan O'Neal.
Correct.
And it's a comedy, and it's sometimes labeled a screwball comedy.
Sometimes labeled that as an homage to screwball comedy.
All right.
Bogdanovich went out of his way to borrow.
Right, yeah, Peter Bogdanovich.
Buck Henry also.
And Buck Henry, who did his writing, was also appeared in The Graduate.
Yes, he did.
I know.
Yeah.
So, what was your impression? Was this the first time you've seen it?
No, I saw it actually back in high school.
Okay.
And it was an interesting comedy rom-com, fast-moving. Babs was really she was a great rising star, so we all saw her in everything that she did.
Well, she had come out of Funny Girl, right?
Yes, and well, yeah, Funny Girl, and she was Dolly Levi. Yeah.
So she was really big, but I think that Funny Girl,
Yeah.
although the movie was flawed, as I recollect,
Correct.
and
Yeah.
flawed because she was the movie.
Yes, she was. She was the character, and so we were watching her. We were watching her on TV,
Yeah.
and so you couldn't miss this. And Ryan O'Neal was a rising star too. He was so darn good looking. So
Yes.
had to see it.
Really preternaturally good looking.
Yeah.
Don't you think?
Yeah.
And both of them looked very good on Technicolor.
They did.
Yeah, I thought they were especially made, particularly her eyes,
Yes.
her skin,
Yes.
and he just overall was like he wanted to sculpt a perfect head for
Right.
a male.
Right.
Boy,
He was giving Robert Redford a run for his money.
yeah, for sure.
Yeah,
That's
he
right.
was.
That's right. That's a good
Yeah.
comparison. They're two different kind of blondes, aren't they?
They are. They
Yeah.
are.
The baggage that he carries is, well, did he do Love Story after this? I think he made, no.
I think.
Yeah, no, he did Love Story before this, because that's the last line of the film.
That's right. That's right.
And
Good catch.
Right, but Love Story, it was just the beating boy for people who look at a corny romantic movies with
Yes.
Alan McGraw.
Oh yes. Yeah.
So he couldn't shed that at all.
Right.
It was just, and he wasn't, I mean, come on, if Bogdanovich was looking at screwball comedies at all, Ryan O'Neal is strictly not Cary Grant.
You got that right. You absolutely. The sophistication of the leading males
Yes.
in the screwball comedies that's an important factor too. Is that they have to be smooth and they have to be debonair. And,
Yeah. And Grant really is the emblem.
Oh, absolutely.
I mean, there's no way anybody
Yeah.
would try.
Or William Powell and
Yes, very good.
In My Man Godfrey. Yeah.
Oh, right, yeah.
Got it. Yeah. That,
These guys have not only to be handsome, but they have to be slick.
right. It's very slick.
Wow.
Yeah, yeah.
What a legacy. So Ryan O'Neill's there. Everybody knows he's come off of Hayden Place or whatever the heck. He's been
Right.
on, yeah. You know, he's
And
been
TV.
and he's been a lot of TV.
Yeah.
And so he has, people know him. I just didn't find much range in this.
No, there was just a lot of physical comedy and movement, and it takes your breath away. Just the pace at which this film
Yes.
film goes. I made up a little list, 2.5 pages of notes here, but we start with the.
First of all, Audrey,
Yes.
you notice how I'm trying to disguise my good looks.
I know you are, with the glasses, which, as you note, that Ryan O'Neill abandons the glasses like in the last 10 minutes of the film.
Okay,
Yeah,
good
he
point.
does, yeah, he's doing
He
that.
looks awfully good in them though.
Yeah, he does. He
Because
does.
he's playing the nerdy professor.
Correct,
And you
correct.
expect the glasses to be symbolic of how he's just kind of hidden from the real world.
Right. So it starts with the switch and the mix-up and the identity mix-up and the bags and the rooms, and it takes off from there. So we're at the San Francisco airport. We see the bags switching around. These are handbags. They're all identical, so you know that that's going to be that's going to be the thing.
And
So-
then you have Audrey, I have to say. Then you have that spy carrying the golf. Don't you think
Who
that's stupid?
hangs on to the
Don't
golf.
you think that's really a dumb
Well,
motif?
exactly, because that is more of a slapstick than it is.
Oh, yeah, right, yeah.
Yeah.
And you know, it's funny because Bogdanovich, who was really fine, he was a protege of Orson Welles,
Yeah,
but who has done some very fine work. And then he lets this happen more.
yes,
How many times you have to be 2025 to see how stupid this is? To be repeated?
right.
Do you tell me, were we tricked?
Well, I think that it was the pace of the film where so many of these things, you couldn't digest all of this. We've got the ripping of the coat very early on.
Which happens in Baby.
Yeah, in Bringing Up Baby.
Yeah.
We've got under the table conversations.
Right.
We've got doors slamming, balcony hanging. We've got a
Yeah.
fire and that slapstick fire crew that's going to come out and put out the fire.
That's really old time.
Oh,
I
it
mean,
goes
the fire
on and on.
department.
Yeah, we've got road trips with cabs, with bicycles, with the Volkswagen. We're in San Francisco, so we've got the bullet car
Oh,
jump. Yeah, we got that.
Forever since car races on San Francisco. Forever.
Right. Yes. We've got a party that has pie throwing. We've got a glass panel, which of course moves across the street. You
Yes.
know when it's going to get smashed. An Asian parade, a 4-way car crash, costume shop. We've got cars going up and down a wet concrete, then they go up and down,
Yeah.
or they go down steps, and they end up in the bay. And then at the culmination of all of this is a courtroom scene where all is revealed.
Yeah.
So it's just breakneck, nonstop.
Yeah. But I don't find it that funny.
Well, it becomes tedious after a while. I think because we can predict what's
I
going
mean,
to happen
how many
next.
cars do you have to smash in?
Right.
You know, somebody gets out of a car and then another car comes behind and
Right,
smashes in.
right.
That's funny.
Yeah.
I don't know.
Yeah.
I mean,
So that is why I believe this is more slapstick than it is
I
screwball.
couldn't agree
Yeah,
with you
yeah,
more, yeah.
Yeah.
When we're talking screwball, I know you and I are talking Cary Grant, Katharine Hepburn.
Right.
You get two superstars together with a really good script.
Correct.
And then you've
Correct.
got, but I don't think the script in this Audrey is very funny.
It's not very tight.
No.
In terms of telling a story. I mean, all of a sudden, Barbara Streisand sees Ryan O'Neil and just without really any prompting, she
Sure.
decides to go after him. Which is screwball-ish.
And
Right.
I'm in for it, I'm okay.
Right,
Yeah,
right,
I
right.
know this is gonna be absurd.
Right, but then it just, the moving around of the bags and of course the hotel rooms and the switching of hotel rooms and all of that. Madeline Kahn though steals the film.
Well, yeah, and
She
that's her
really
first
does.
role. and-
Yeah, she
and boy,
steals it.
It didn't take long for him to pick her out.
Well, she, you know, who can forget her in,
Mel Brooks?
yes, Mel Brooks does wonders with her, and,
Yeah.
Young Frankenstein and Blazing Saddles. I mean,
Yeah.
but this is her start, and you can see
Yeah.
her in that,
Yeah.
very, very much so.
Dramatically, she's a nice contrast, maybe a
Yes.
little bit over the top, to Streisand's more sophisticated witticisms and she represents the tight fiancé type.
Yes, yes, and that's always such a fun
Yes,
comparison to this just dingy woman who is just smothering this poor dull man.
yeah.
Yeah. So, yeah, funny, laugh out loud. I don't know, giggle at
Maybe
someone
for
that's
you
in-
when you were a teenager.
Yes, for
I'm
a
sorry.
It does.
It doesn't.
Now-
Upon relooking, and I want to be fair to it. You
Yes,
know,
yeah.
we are talking 50 years later.
Right, right.
And critics like Roger Ebert loved it.
I know. I mean,
And so I'm looking to
it was
see, because he's my man,
yeah.
and I'm looking to see him and saying, you know, wow. I mean, of course, he loved Streisand.
Oh, but
Yeah, and
Of
she
course.
is one talent.
there's no
Wow.
question about her talent. There's absolutely none.
All right, Audrey Harkonen. We got so much. I was just going to introduce Cole Porter to this.
Oh, yeah, and Warner Brothers and Bugs Bunny, which is an important factor that we have got
Yes,
to
it's
talk
right.
about,
Thank you.
because I think that is a precursor for something else that's introduced years later in comedy, and that is cartoons.
Thank you, and Audrey. If people want to hear more, and I think now, they always
Oh,
do
they
when
must.
you're on, they always want to go to our podcast, WCBE.org, the podcast experience.
Yep.
And this is Double Take. So Audrey, it's available on Netflix
And there it is.
and Prime, I'm sorry.
Go to the
Prime,
library,
yeah.
you can pick up a
Yeah.
copy of it.
So what do you recommend about What's Up, Doc?
It is, it's a giggle, it's nostalgic, the fashions, but Streisand's, yes, it's 70s, but Streisand's voice, no matter what she
Oh,
is singing,
Believe me,
and she's doing a variety of numbers.
when she opens with that Cole Porter, you're the
Oh,
top
yeah,
boy, and you
yeah,
hear that voice,
yeah,
you say, okay.
yeah, you'll just watch it for
Yeah,
her.
and that's a leitmotif in the whole film, is the Cole Porter songs.
Right.
You know, so, anyway, What's Up, Doc?
And share some popcorn, soda pop with our friends. Turn off our cell phones and get away. Night or day, it's John DeSando on the radio. We'll watch the credits from up high and low. Cinema classics on NPR.